everybody, and welcome back to the Star Wars Time Show. That's right, Matt and Nick are back this week, even though Matt, the person that is me, is still on vacation. But I was like, hey, it's a little rainy today. We're at the beach. It's cloudy. It's cold. Let me see if my buddy Nick can talk some Star Wars, just in case the weather turns tomorrow on the usual Star Wars Time Show day. And we can get back out there and do a little surfing in 60-degree Atlantic Ocean temperatures, buddy. But it's good to talk to you again. I mean, I'm glad you held down the Falcon cockpit last week by yourself to deliver episode 162. But I'm here. Probably gonna fuck shit up. Probably gonna make things longer than they need to be. But you know, we got some stuff to talk about.
Yeah. There's not a whole lot happening in Star Wars world now, but we have Bad Batch. We still have some rumors out there. We have some potential more Andor set picks. That's kind of getting tiring, like the Andor shit.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
everything is out there now.
We were even before we went live or whatever the hell we're doing right now. This, by the way, people, we're the past 2 weeks we've had different types of schedules and delivery of the show. Again, like I said, when we opened, I've been on vacation for 2 weeks. Took the 1 week off doing it now, but we should be back on the live streams by June 1st on the next show. I might be by myself because Nick's going to take a little break, but after that, by mid-June, we'll be back to waste your time on Tuesday afternoons on YouTube, Star Wars Time Show.
Yes,
but like Nick said, we got some Bad Batch to talk about. That's still rolling around on Disney+. Episode 4 dropped past Friday. It was titled Cornered. All right, this is the first episode, Nick. We really didn't have a title or anything before it dropped.
Yeah.
I did see on Reddit that I think it leaked a bit early, but I wasn't paying attention to that. It has been nice to, as hard as it's been, but it has been nice to kind of just disconnect from, social media, the internet in general while I've been on vacation. But I did see that the title leaked. We didn't care. We didn't check it out, but we did watch Cornered. So we're going to do what we usually do when a new episode of the Star Wars anything comes out. And we're going to break it down because we understand that not all of you are as enlightened as we are when it comes to this galaxy. Right, Nick?
That's true. We are special beings here. We have the Force. Sometimes the regular people out there don't really understand it.
I mean, just look at all of these speculative misses we've made, but we've also hit on a few. So you never know what you're going to get on the Star Wars Time Show. We're kind of doing it classic style here, just doing a offline recording. It feels weird, man. I'm not going to lie. Like I'm sitting here, I'm used to performing in front of a camera like a circus monkey. I'm trying to bring the same level of passion, but it's difficult sitting in here in a condo room, not seeing people in the chat. But hey, we'll get there. We got the Bad Batch. So, what'd you think, man? I mean, the way we usually break these down, we'll give our opinion of the episode overall, and then we'll get into the eggs and some of the key moments that you should be focused on. But what did you think of S1E4 Cornered? Was it enjoyable? I know you just had a fresh screening, so you're doing a little slacking, so it should be fresh on the brain.
Yeah, I typically don't watch the episodes until the day we do the show, so I don't lose anything, or I don't, I don't have to go through the memory banks during the show and be like, what did I like? It's always fresh. So this one, I was a fan. I know that some people thought that episode 3 was a bit of a downswing, you got calls of filler and stuff like that already going in the show, but episode 4 I thought picked things up because you add in Fennec, and that brings in the whole storyline of now they're being chased. It kind of has a Mando feel to it now, like Mando S1, where they're constantly being chased by bounty hunters. The kid is the quarry, not the main characters. So
correct. I'm glad you picked up on that.
Yeah. So you have a very similar feel to Mando S1 now that Fennec's in here. And I assume that once we expand a little bit further into that, when we get to, E5, E6, and continuing on through the season, we'll probably get to see a little bit of Palpatine or a little bit of, the higher Imperial structure that's out there trying to get this girl back, whoever hired Fennec. So I like that was brought in. I like that we had like it seems like the now the norm, because we've seen it in both episode 3 and episode 4, is that like, hey, it's gonna be Hunter and Omega off on their own, and then the other boys are just gonna be kind of doing their own thing.
That does seem to be the template, and it also seems like, you know, I didn't get to talk to you about episode 3. That was, to me, I think the general take from that episode was, whoa, Crosshairs, buddy.
Yeah.
Like he's definitely drinking the Kool-Aid, but he also had that very reflective moment in the old Bad Batch bunker, as we'll call it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, hey, we're not going to rehash that one. We've discussed this on the show before. There is no such thing as Star Wars filler. That's just for people that, you know, have cement-filled heads, I guess. I don't know. You need the world to be built out. You need structure to be put in, and we need to learn these things. So I enjoyed episode 3, but on to 4, my general take. I'm right there with Nick Buddy, because I love how they brought in Fennec. You know, we have a little bit of history on her now, I guess future history, if you will, and a little bit of her backstory. We learned that through Din, that, you know, she was an assassin, an Imperial assassin at that, and clearly quite skilled. Din respected her. That bozo that was hunting her respected her. But now we're getting a deeper dive into the character of Fennec, her skill sets, the way she likes to operate. We got to see her ship. I mean, I love how they introduced her with that, you know, that scumbag Soliston calling her up, and she was just kind of sitting in space, you know, Boba Fett chilling in the Slave One style, just waiting for a call to come in a lead. I loved how she approached the situation, right, with Omega. She kind of played that friend motherly role, like, hey, I'm here to help you. Which to me is a very interesting take when you consider that she is a female assassin / bounty hunter, and how she decided to approach her quarry versus, say, in Din or IG-11, who in the Mando walk up to that stronghold and just start fucking shooting the place to bits.
They just blast it all down. Yeah, I mean, it is a more intelligent take, you know, a more intelligent approach to it. I guess
had her. I mean, she had her. Like, they were friends, dude. They were friends. They were stealing fruit together and talking about it's okay to sometimes do shady shit.
Yep.
But yeah, and then, you know, Hunter showed up and fucked it all up. So I love this early look at Fennec. I love how they established her as competent, if not more technically skilled than the Bad Batch.
Yeah.
She took on 2 members who each have their own unique enhancements and held her own, if not defeated them. I mean, Hunter, we have to give him the chase scene win because he ultimately got away, but she kicked Wrecker's ass just by using her brains, and she really... You know, if it wasn't for Hunter having that bomb that he was trying to sell, it's funny how they came back to that. I like that.
Yeah.
You know, see, Nick, I watch Star Wars cartoons even as if I was studying them like a case study for film school. and they did. Like, I mean, if you think about it, the bomb was brought up 2 or 3 times. It was like, hey, bombs, don't get rid of bombs. We have to get rid of bombs to make money. And then in the end, him having a bomb, which he couldn't sell, is what actually led to him getting away. So
yeah,
I was right there with you, man. I thought they brought Fennec in perfectly. She's set up to be a great foil to the Bad Batch and an antagonist that is, you know, kind of going to be riding their ass for a period of time. And I we'll get into it in the key moments, but I definitely have my thoughts. Who has hired her after some conversations that took place, I believe, in episode 3 on Camino.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, overall, I was a fan of the episode. I think that at this moment, like now that the Bad Batch is kind of separated out and there's no big battles happening, the one thing that I can say is I think that Wrecker is more of a liability than an actual like boon to the squad. Right. Because like you said, he just like he's literally in his element when he's about to have this fight with Fennec. And you see just how stupid he is. Like, I mean, can't even like have a hand-to-hand battle with this bounty hunter because she's just like, whatever. I'm just gonna you're gonna run at me. I'm gonna move and I'm gonna smash her head against the wall.
Right. I mean,
like,
you could see her. She looked at him and she's like, big target. saw him running, looked at the steel pipe or whatever, and she already had her plan of attack as he was like, oh, you know. So
yeah, because
I still
like
love the guy. And as a lot of people, again, I'm starting to, at this point, I don't even think our super fans watch my content because, you know, days down the road in our Discord, they're like, hey, I wonder why people aren't paying more attention to Wrecker talking about his head hurting right where the chip is at. And I'm like, well, your boy Matt took care of that in the motherfucking breakdown, people. Come on. Of course, something's going to happen with the chip in Wrecker's head. Just like Nick said, you're 100% right. He's either going to snap and try to, you know, take out Omega or get them fucked. Or if they run into a Jedi or Force user, something wonky could go down. But yeah, I'm with you. I think Wrecker, my man, I mean, I love him. He's like a big, you know, he's like Lenny of Mice and Men, right?
He's just a big goon. Like
but he has a heart. Like, you know, we saw he had a heart. Like, again, I didn't get to talk about it, so I still have some of these thoughts. But in episode 3, another beautiful full circle narrative in that episode where at the beginning, Wrecker was so eager to take Omega's rations, and Hunter's like, dude, she doesn't even have a room, and you're going to take her food already? But by the end, after Hunter and Omega get back, what did Wrecker had done? He built her a place. So I love the guy, but I'm with you, man. I think he is definitely their biggest liability at this point in time.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, dude. So let's get into some of the eggs here. It was kind of egg light. We did get some good ones though. I got to pull up my list because these I forget. I did look up Ida Floor, the first planet they talked about, but there was nothing established. And this is one of those deals, Nick, where I wish I wasn't on vacation because we could have cashed in on some primo SEO with that name because there was nothing when I searched it at 5:30 a.m. last Friday.
Yeah, I mean, it still doesn't look like there's like if I search Ida Floor on Google, there's one Star Wars thing that comes up. So
it's weird, man. I mean, just from someone that covers Star Wars like a freak and probably shouldn't, just based on viewership and whatnot. But I have noticed that Bad Batch stuff is as much as we love it, and some of our fans do, and other Star Wars fans we see on our social media. It does not seem to be taking the general Star Wars public by storm. My last Easter egg vid, I don't know if it was released too late because I did it early and then I went for a walk because I'm on vacation and I still can't shake myself of this sickness, this OCD with Matt's got to get his thoughts out about the next great Star Wars episode. But views have dropped even below like 100. And it's like, okay, well, is this us again? Is this just the Star Wars Time Show curse? And I really do need to wake up and smell the fucking blue milk? Or is the Bad Batch just not quite grabbing onto like what a casual, almost non-Star Wars fan, which were captured by Mando, but maybe not so by Bad Batch?
No, I just don't think that it is. Like, it's not as popular. I think that the people now who are into Star Wars via Disney Plus are way more interested in live action TV than they are in animated TV. I mean, you had the immense success of the Clone Wars season 7, and I think that that's kind of what Disney was banking on as the hope of like, oh, well, the excitement for this is going to roll over into the Bad Batch. But you also have to remember that like Clone Wars season 7 is something that like legacy fans, I will call them, have always wanted. They always wanted a proper ending. And if you're not a fan of Disney Star Wars, then I think that you just had a bad taste in your mouth about Bad Batch anyway. Yeah. I mean, I saw shit out there that people were saying that, you know, the Bad Batch is just a replacement for the fucking the Republic Commando game that had the like that special troop of clones in it and stuff. So there were people who were already upset about this before it even came out, just from their time in season 7. So I wouldn't doubt that this is another show that's like got a bit of a lower following. I mean,
all these people are doing, they're dissing our man Dave, because I mean, this is the genesis, another creation of one Dave Filoni. So
yeah.
Like we're going to talk about kind of a fun story down the road here in this episode about Mr. Filoni. But some of the same people, and I'm with you. They're probably like Filoni is Star Wars Jesus, or the son. You've got George, the Force, and Dave Filoni, like the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But they'll also be the same people like, fuck bad, blah 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 blah. It's like, well, I mean, if this man thinks it's important to create and put out, then you probably should take note.
Yeah, there's no way that you're gonna get George Lucas back. I know that for some people out there, that's the ultimate dream, that George Lucas needs to come back to Star Wars and fix everything. But
is Filoni not his conduit now? Like, you've got to imagine these two still jive, right?
Oh yeah, but like you also have to, like, people like us know who Dave Filoni is. Like, nobody.
Right. Yeah,
like,
no, you're right.
Yeah, like Dave Filoni is like, that's like us calling out the fucking producer of a Marvel movie. Like, people also don't know who Kevin Feige is. Like,
right.
If you're a general fan, you're like, I know George Lucas because he created Star Wars and that's it. Like, they don't know who Filoni is. They're like, who's that? That's the guy's name that I see in the credits sometime.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I mean, you're right. And maybe kids are a generation that maybe started with Clone Wars, maybe they have more of appreciation for it. But I mean, again, this man was handpicked by the maker. Handpicked. Like, a weird interview, Dave didn't even think he got it because they just sat there and like nerded out on Star Wars, and that was it.
Yeah,
and I think Dave was like doing some bit work on SpongeBob or Nickelodeon shows at that point in time. But hey, look what's happened, and like I said, we got a funny story on his career path at Lucasfilm coming up. Anyways, back to the eggs here, Nick. We were, it almost plays perfectly into the first egg, which was the fact that they were like, hey, we're going to Pantora.
Yep.
And at first I was like, I'll look it up. I take my note and I put a question mark next to it because I might be a Star Wars dork, but I really don't have Pantora archived in the gray matter. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, it's like you don't keep that one.
No, like, I'm not that big of a douche. But when I'm watching this, I literally have my little digital notepad, my Apple Notes, and I'll write these down with question marks. And I went and looked it up. And I'm like, well, fucking A, I know where this place is. This is where George's character from Revenge of the Sith, Chairman Papanoida, and his daughter, I believe Amanda Lucas Chiikwe, that's their planet. And they actually, so not only are Pantorans featured for the first time in Revenge of the Sith, but they also got at least an episode or two in the early seasons of the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was a direct reference, Easter egg, whatever you want to call it. I mean, it should have been a dead giveaway when you started seeing some of the local citizens with that blue skin and the like facial markings they use.
Yeah.
All right, so the dude, Raspar 6, or I don't know if that, like I said, is that his code name, or essentially the guy that rats out the Bad Batch. He's a Nin-Yum-looking dude, a Soliston.
Yeah, Soliston.
So, there you go. This was an easy one. Fennec, I mean, a reference, future reference. I mean, she was established in live action and now making a debut in animation, which is kind of the reverse of Bo-Katan and Ahsoka, which is kind of fun. I mean, look, this is what Filoni and Favreau are doing now. I mean, that's why shows like this are important, whether you may not agree with the direction that the Clone Wars era should have went in, or the early years of the Empire. I mean, all this shit is synergizing now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that people need to realize that this is like what's happening now with the live action Disney Plus and the animated Disney Plus like shows, and then also probably in the movies coming up as well. Like they're building like an MCU style universe. It's not going to be like, you're not going to see Star Wars the same way that you've seen it in the past, where you watch 3 movies and then those are connected and then that's it. Like then you can just say like, okay, well, I saw the new trilogy, so I'm caught up. Like now you really do need to watch everything to kind of have this holistic view of how they're building the world now. Like you said, not only because of the interconnectedness between each series, but also because of the characters that they're using in each series and how one of them, plays into the other. How Fennec is now reintroduced in her younger form through Bad Batch, but we know that she eventually comes back around and helps Din in the Mandalorian.
Right.
Like it's a different way. It's a different way to watch Star Wars, and I think that's why people are kind of slacking on it, because you're so used to that that literal 3-act structure. You're like, okay, watch the first movie, watch the second movie, watch the third movie. Bingo, bango, I'm done. Check out.
Right.
And then, now you're in this completely different world that is a lot more like a Marvel MCU.
And these can stand alone, just like the MCU movies. Everyone essentially stands alone outside of Infinity War and Endgame. You kind of need to.
You need those too
to book in those, but it's so much better when you watch it all, right? I mean, how excellent. And the MCU, Feige, they deserve credit for this, and hopefully he has lent some of that knowledge to Filoni and Kennedy and whatnot at Lucasfilm, because, I mean, really what they did over there is just, it's masterful, because it does allow, it allows a bunch of random properties to be developed, but it then brought together in this massive ensemble, badass piece of cinema, art, whatever you want to call it. So I'm with you. I think Star Wars, they're slowly trying to get into that game, into the world building through various types of properties, as is evident by all the names they dropped in December, right? Our Star Wars Day, Nick. I'll always stick to that. I mean, everyone else does May the 4th because it's cute and it's Hallmark. You and I dubbed whatever the hell that event was in November, December, where Kennedy was up there like, and you get a show, and you get a show, and you get a show, and this one and that one, and this one and movies. So yeah, I mean, it's all good stuff. I mean, it's still a good time to be a Star Wars fan. I'm not going to say it's a good time to be alive, but it is a good time to be a Star Wars fan. All right, so moving on with our eggs. And by the way, people, if you've actually are still listening at this point in time, I'm going to apologize right now. I have no clue what my mic is going to sound like. It should sound great. Same mic I use when I'm in the studio. But when I did my video last week, I mean, it sounded like a popcorn maker. It was like,
oh, wow.
So if this has been miserable, and I'll find out when we're done recording, I apologize, and hopefully we'll be back to normal next week. Yeah. And any of the stuff we're talking about, we'll try to visualize it for you, but you can always find the content on StarWarsTime.net. Just look up the post. Right now we're checking out the Bad Batch S1E4 breakdown post, so you can kind of follow along if you need the visuals, since we're not live streaming. But anyways, so they're on this planet. They get this guy. We meet Fennec. It might not be Lothal, Nick, but we had some eggs here, if you will. We had some Loth cats hanging on Pantora. Mm-hmm. It's always not. I mean, that's a clear Filoni type of deal.
Loth cats seem to just have spread throughout the galaxy.
Yeah, now. they're like a plague. I mean, they're like some of these invasive species that show up around the world. I mean,
yeah, somebody brought a pair of them on their starship when they left Lothal, and then they just fucking propagated it across the galaxy.
Yeah, it's probably the fucking Bridger clan. It's probably Ezra's mom and dad. Yeah. All right, Nick, the next egg, and I actually, when I in the video I addressed this, I'm like, this could be the greatest egg / reference I've seen in a while, and it's the one where Omega's kind of in the market, in the shop, and they have these clone dolls which are nearly identical to Jin's Stormtrooper doll from Rogue One.
Yes.
So I love that parallel. I loved how the doll, they probably were bought as like these hero toys, and now it's what's going on in the galaxy with the clones. It's like, oh Jesus, I mean, you got kids playing with these things that are essentially going to be henchmen moving forward and morphing into the Stormtroopers. But I don't know, for some reason I just really loved the placement of this, and it was such a clear nod, in my opinion, to Rogue One and Jin's Stormtrooper doll.
I like how they keep doing this with Omega, with the dolls, whether it be like this one in this episode or the previous episodes where she's got that Tanuki doll. Like, yes, like you can see moments of her, like in episode 1 when we're talking about her saving the Bad Batch, in episode 3 where she saves Hunter's life and then also gets the part back for the ship all on her own. Like, they're setting her up. Like, you see these moments and you're like, oh, she's like a mature person, she can take care of herself. But like with these moments, it shows the childishness. Like, it's not like
she has a naivete, as they would say. Still. Yeah, I mean, again, she grew up in a lab essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
In the middle of an ocean. remember her dirt antics a few episodes ago. So she is very. Doesn't have a lot of street smarts, or you could say a lot of galaxy smarts
Yeah,
yet.
very trusting of anybody, it
Of
seems, too.
course. I mean, we just talked about the Fennec thing. I mean, she's like, oh, hey, yeah, sure, great. Sounds good.
Yeah, I'll hang out with you.
All right, so this next one bugged me, and you and I should have figured this one out because we're like one of the only Star Wars fans that also like Star Wars Resistance.
Yeah.
At least of in the adult age group. But
yeah, no, it's mostly kids.
Nick, for the life of me, when she's following this beast, I'm like, I know I've seen this fucking thing before, but I can't remember, and I couldn't remember even as I was laying down the video. And then it finally hit me. I was like, you know what? That was the fucking pet on Star Wars Resistance. So I had to look it up. And indeed it was. It was Mr. Buggles. So Mr. Buggles is it's a Vorpak. So that's what those little animals were that she kind of got led off the path with.
Okay. Vorpak. I knew, because like I saw him, I was like, oh, that's the dog thing. And like I knew I had seen it before, but like I'm not good at remembering names anyway, so there was no way that I was gonna fucking pull that out. But I was
I had to like this one took some fucking like again people would be like, this guy needs help, you know. I mean, he should he should do something with his life if this is the shit he's doing on a vacation. But I was actually, once I figured out, I knew to search Resistance pet. That got me to Buggles, and once I found Buggles, I went to his Wikipedia, and it finally identified his species. So that's the type of stupid shit I do, but hey, I know how to use the internet, unlike most humans.
Yeah.
Next one, I mean, you know, protocol droids, you always got to call them out, and this one acts just as stuffy and as entitled as C-3PO, which I love.
Yeah.
So I always like getting his class of droid out there.
Like, on that one quickly too, like the restraining bolts thing eventually comes up towards the end when Echo pops those off. He's like, "Don't worry, that's why I'm the whatever." He said, "That's why I'm like the leader here." And he pops off everybody's restraining bolt, and then they all run away. So I thought that was a good callback to A New Hope. I
mean, not that I would do funny moments. I mean, I used to kind of in the top moments, but I loved Echo getting traded off. As a droid, the way he acted towards the other droids, the way he kind of would pump up the protocol droid's head, like, no, don't worry. Once I'm done, you can be the leader again. It's all good.
Yeah, exactly.
So, that was fun. I mean, Echo is really, I mean, while he's not an enhanced clone, because of his past as the ARC Trooper, as one of the first named clones, I mean, obviously has a lot of history with the series and fans. But I love the character he's become through his mechanical transformation and spending time with essentially a bunch of knuckleheads.
Yeah. Like he was, you know, he was one of the original name clones, but he still did have, you know, that very strict protocol programming and everything like that inside of him. So seeing him loosen up in ways when he gets around, like mostly around like the real nuttier ones, you know, like Wrecker and Tech, and, you know, Hunter to a lesser degree, because he's still kind of like, you know, straightforward, like get the job done. Like he's as much like a regular clone.
You're right. Like Hunter is, I mean, he's got like almost mutant powers, but everything else seems normal. Like Tech, you can tell he's one of those people. He's so smart that they're not normal. Yeah. Right?
Like if they wanted to like exaggerate,
he's a dope.
Yeah, if they wanted to exaggerate Tech's feature, they would just give him a big ass head, because it's like, oh yeah, his brain grew double the size it was supposed to.
I mean,
that's why he's so smart.
They almost did. He's always wearing some form of glasses, and he's got like that nerdy receding hairline look. So I mean, like that smart guy professor look. But Hunter, you're right. I mean, you wouldn't know he's wonky outside of the fact that literally, I'm going with that camo is permanent. Like that's part of his enhancement.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, is like it seems like now if that was going to come off, it probably should have. But the fact that the camo on his face is still there, I think you may be right. Like maybe it's just it was a part of his particular build to help him stay.
Or like fucking Jesse, he just got it tattooed permanently on his face. Yeah, you know, I mean, clones were known to do some weird shit to make themselves stand out.
Very true.
All right, back to the eggs and reference, and we get the last one here before we get into key moments. But Nick, you couldn't tell me when you watched that chase scene, you weren't getting echoes of the chase from Attack of the Clones between Zam, Anakin, and Obi.
100%. In fact, like because we're sitting here and we're under the impression that at some point in this show, Omega is going to show force powers. That's just kind of like in the back of our head. And when I was watching this,
everyone's waiting for it, I think.
Yeah. Like when I was watching it and she was hanging from the tower and I was like, okay, so this is when she's going to do the Anakin thing where like she falls and like she's like, she figures out she can guide herself somehow and then land. It's like the whole time I'm watching this, I'm like, when is she going to do her force thing? When is she going to do her force thing? But yeah, it did have vibes of that episode 2. AOTC
well, they even used they didn't use the same chase music, but they used a lot of the same speeder music. Like Zam's speeder sound was heavily used throughout that. And it really, I mean, I know we weren't on Coruscant, but Pantora, its little traffic lanes also had that feel. There was falls, like Nick said. So I mean, I got some big time AOTC callbacks to this one. Sans, lightsaber lessons and really shitty Jedi mallets that our boy old Ben Kenobi was sporting there.
Yeah.
All right, dude. So on to some of the key moments. We've covered a few of these, so we don't have to spend a ton of time. But Nick called this out from the get-go when we were just kind of breaking down the episode. But I wanted to make it clear too that Fennec is definitely 100% hunting Omega and Omega only, where I don't know what you felt, Nick, but at the end of episode 3, when I think it was Nala Se and Lama Su were kind of doing their shady shit, like, yeah, we need one more chance to make a super duper clone, but the Jango Fett material is decaying. It's basically bullshit. We only have one source of pure whatever genealogy left. And they look down at the Bad Batch table. I'm like, okay, well, they just need one of the Bad Batches. But I think it's pretty clear now through the understanding that Fennec has been hired to hunt Omega that they were talking about Omega, and she's got the special sauce that they need to make whatever kind of their. Did you take it as like their last ditch attempt to make a super soldier for the Empire to kind of keep that contract going?
Yeah, from that conversation at the end of episode 3, it's definitely like either we make something that we haven't given them before, or they're gonna kill us. Like that's kind of the ultimatum that the Kaminoans are under right now, because that the Empire's not just gonna walk away. They're not just gonna be like, okay, well, we're done with cloning, so see you guys later. Like. They're not going to leave them. They're going to fucking nuke the whole place.
Right. I mean, think about it. What the Kaminoans could do. I mean, they raised an army of millions with the whole galaxy not even knowing except for 2 people.
Yeah.
Right? SWTS and Sidious, who still is like George sitting there one day going, I named Palpatine Sidious. Watch this shit. I'm going to call this guy that really means nothing SWTS.
Yeah, I'm just going to put an F in
about
there.
That.
Bing.
Yeah.
Old new name.
He probably rolls into a meeting like, what do you guys think about that? And they're all like looking at each other like, is he serious? Is this a fucking joke?
Like, yeah, George, it's fucking great. Good job, man.
And they realize it's not a joke. Then they're like, yeah, man, that's awesome. Oh, wow, I'm glad you figured it out because that was really stressing us out.
Yeah.
But I'm with you, man. I think the Kaminoans know what's up, or the Kaminoans know what's up. And we do know, at least by the Remnant Empire, which means probably through the main years of the Galactic Empire, that they had access to Kamino scientists on Kamino that didn't look like Kaminoans.
Yeah, exactly. They were humans. I don't know if it was like they just had like human interns in the back that you never get to see.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure. Even, I mean, we know their little attempt is ultimately going to fail because the Empire does move forward with what was that, Project War Mantle?
War Mantle, and the conscription of elite soldiers from around the galaxy.
Right, and they don't use clones anymore. And like Nick pointed out, and we've seen in the Bad Batch, we've seen in Attack of the Clones, there's no fucking humanoids on Kamino. At least up through what we've seen. So pretty sure they're going to take those facilities over for themselves. But it was nice to get it kind of clean and cut that Fennec is solely after Omega, which just, beefs Omega's credit even more, puts even more credence behind the speculations that she is isn't just an enhanced clone like the Bad Batch, but tweaked even further, probably with the Force.
Yes.
Okay. I wanted to mention this because I thought it was a very, it contrasted the Seleucami episode perfectly. But didn't you feel like the Pantorans were overly jubilant
Yeah.
by the occupation of the new empire? Where on Seleucami it felt like people were trying to get the fuck out of there. They didn't seem as welcoming as Pantorans were.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And I mean, I don't know if different systems started getting the broadcast of this at different times, because you would imagine when that chain code thing went out, like if it was a galaxy wide like HoloNet transmission, then everybody would got it at the same time.
Yeah.
So now that we're on Pantora and like they're reacting to this like it's new information, and they're like, fucking yeah, Empire, free credits,
give us our money.
Codes. Yeah, like, so did they like get or like the messages going out at different times? Because you would figure that maybe they had seen this already. But yeah, like just in general, their reception was way more welcoming.
This is my 2 cents on it. Like, if you looked at this episode and kind of took in the cityscape of Pantora, it's a very well-to-do planet, probably.
Yeah.
Probably has a lot of money, some influence in the galaxy. And you would think that type of planet, it probably is more in line with Imperial rule than the planets like a Seleucami, a Tatooine, those in the Outer Rim territories, where it is a little more Wild West, but maybe some of these inner planets or more developed planets are probably more welcoming to what's being sold to them as peace and security. But we know it ultimately is just an occupational force that is going to rule with an iron thumb.
Yeah, I think that the richer people in the galaxy probably know that they're safe, and they're like, oh, not only do we get, not only do we get all of our credits, now transferred into these Imperial credits, like they have a feeling like maybe, we can have a little bit more influence here. Money will mean a little bit more to the Imperials than it did to the senators and the Galactic Republic.
It's again, it's a mirror of real life, because I mean, let's, whether you like politics or not, I mean, those that were liking the kind of the great leader thing we tried for 4 years here are probably more well-to-do humans.
Yeah.
Who are more concerned with a lot of the bullshit that side of the political spectrum tries to sell to people, even though it's really not true. But you get my point. Typically, people that are more comfortable, well-to-do, maybe even have the proper color skin, are usually more accepting of being told what to do as long as they're safe. You know what I mean? So, and we're getting that in Star Wars as well. We talked about this earlier, so we don't have to riff on it, but I love the way Fennec's skills were just kind of set up right from the get-go. I mean, she knows how to bounty hunt, she knows how to fight, she knows how to chase scenes, she knows how to shoot. So, I mean, we knew she was a good shot coming into this, but now we know she is the full package, as Hunter attested to. He's like, listen, this person is well-trained and highly skilled. So it was nice. It was nice to kind of get to see it, and I love that it seems that she is going to kind of be the main antagonist for now. And last but not least, and this is a stupid one, and Nick probably didn't even pick up on it, but I absolutely loved the personality of Clink the droid.
I really didn't pick up on it.
He was all right. So going back to our droid friends, like I said, I mean, that was the humor side of this episode. Echo and the droids, they kind of gave us the laughs. But there was 2 astromechs and then Clink. And Clink, Nick, is like, he's one of those old school sci-fi robots that they just jam a person into.
Yeah.
So he had like those rubbery, like slinky looking arms and legs. And he just like, he had the best personality when Echo took over. Like, he's always like, me, yeah, I'll do whatever you want, new boss. And they're like, okay, old boss is back. And he, just the way he walked. I mean, I loved this droid. Star Wars always has a lot of great droids, and they're typically the ones that can't talk.
Yeah.
So I'm putting Clink up there now with the BB-8s, the choppers, the R2s.
Do you think, like, speaking of droids, like, this is one of the first ever series so far where you don't really have a droid companion to your humans? Do you think that they're ever going to pick one up, or is it just...
Well, here's kind of my take on that. the Wrecker's Gonk droid, I believe, is their droid. But
Okay.
because it's a gonk, all it ever does is all you ever hear it doing is gonk, gonk.
Yeah.
But it's been featured at least in the past 2 episodes. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it seems to be a part of their family. He uses it to curl. Omega was using it to rest on in episode 3, I believe. And I think it was even doing something in this last episode. So I think that's kind of my out on that. But you are correct. You almost always have some form
Like a
of
useful droid companion,
right?
For lack of a better term. But yeah, that kind of does, like, even though it doesn't throw me off, like it doesn't send this, you know, like any episodes into a tizzy because you don't have a droid. It is noticeable, like if you have tracked previous Star Wars animated
Well, I mean,
series
I guess
before.
Mando technically never had either. I mean, we had the character of IG-11, but he was kind of his own character. He sort of became a companion after Kuiil reprogrammed him.
Yeah.
But he's not. I mean, he's a murder bot. So yeah, I mean, Mando really hasn't had that yet. But he could. I mean, he obviously had a change of heart with bots thanks to IG-11. I mean, we knew he kind of had some PTSD due to the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
But I think he has an affinity for droids now, much more so than he did season 1. So who knows? Maybe to replace Grogu, he'll have an astromech in his new ship, right? Because we don't know.
I would like to see him with a droid, like even something. I know, like the astromechs, the protocol droids are we're used to seeing those, but I would really love to see especially for Mando, something like Cal had in
like
Jedi
a
Fallen
Swiss
Order,
Army, like a parrot bot, but is also highly useful. You know, at stuff Mando would probably be doing.
Exactly. I feel like somebody like him would be able to use a BD-1 a little bit better than, you know, a character like Luke Skywalker would or something like that. But yeah, I think it would be fun to have like a smaller, not like this huge clunky droid companion like we usually see, but like a useful one like Cal had, or like what Iden Versio had in Battlefront 2. So
yeah, I could dig that for Din, especially one like Iden had, because that thing literally would just float and stick on her backpack. I mean, that seemed like a very Mando-esque type of droid. I know the Inquisitors used a similar type of droids. So I could get down with that. So hey, there you go, people. That's our Bad Batch S1E4 cornered breakdown, analysis, whatever the hell you want to call it. Hopefully you got a little more out of the episode now that us two geniuses have provided a deeper, more enlightened take for you.
Yes, for sure.
Moving on, we teased this earlier, the whole Dave Filoni thing. This popped up midweek. I don't know if like Lucasfilm updated its website or something.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened. Like they finally updated the masthead or something.
Right, but apparently this happened last year. So the whole hubbub was just this week. Star Wars fans found out that Dave Filoni is now the executive creative director of Lucasfilm. And as Nick wrote up in our article, I mean, this happened last summer. But it's Filoni, it's Lucasfilm. It was never really made public, nor do I think Filoni would want it to be. I mean, I'm sure he's laughing at this now. Like, what the hell? Like, how's this popping up now? I've been doing this for a year, almost a year straight. But hey, I mean, I guess it's, for those that didn't know, it's good to know that he truly is in a, what they call it, a C-suite type of role at this point in time.
Yeah, executive leadership. So, I mean, the big call out here is that the promotion, whether it happened last week or whether it happened last year, happened after all Star Wars movies that were on the slate were finished. So that means that now moving forward, if the scope of this role is as big as it seems, executive creative director would lead you to believe you're not just talking about TV here, you're talking about everything. It means that moving forward, any movie projects that are being built, worked on, written, whatever, would fall under the purview of Dave Filoni, which was not the case during the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, I think this is one of their big course corrections to that. I mean, to me, this role reads as, I'm the fucking story group.
Yeah. It's like, Pablo, thanks for writing all those visual guides, but step aside for
have fun with your books and, you know, calling yourself a story group, and we'll keep you. It's great. We love you guys, but You run the ship by me now, and I'll tell you if it's fucking stupid or not. Like that idea of like, oh hey, let's hire 3 wildly different filmmakers and have them not only direct the sequel trilogy, but each write their own treatment.
Yeah, exactly. He'd be like, you can have 3 directors, but I will be the guiding force of the writing of this. Let me just put that out there. So I think it's a good move.
I mean, Dave, he's a Pittsburgh boy like myself. I mean, not that I know the man personally, but hey, he's from my hometown. He still loves the Penguins, and I'm sure other Pittsburgh area sports. And you know, we love him for more than just that nonsense. I mean, look what this man has helped to create with George himself, and then also created on his own with new talented artists once the sale took place. So good for Dave. It's a year, you know, it's a year late, but Dave, we speak your name and we honor you as the new ECD of Lucasfilm.
Yes, congratulations on the promotion. Hopefully that means that all Star Wars content moving forward falls under your hands, your wonderful and talented vision for the Star Wars franchise.
Dude, straight. Like I said, I mean, who knows what all falls under that title of executive creative director, but that's basically I sign off on any story moves and any major canon additions need to go by my desk.
Yeah. I hope that's how it goes, but we'll see. We'll see moving forward. I mean, we know that we have the Patty Jenkins movie that's in the works right now, Rogue Squadron. We know that Tyke is working on a movie as well that has no title yet. So hopefully Dave has been having some long conversations with these creators about their upcoming film project. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
It sounds like he may not be talking with a certain group of creators in our next story here. And
not anymore, it seems.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's a rumor, but I still think this is one of these deals where the shitty Star Wars sites, the shitty Star Wars casts, they take something literally it was in parentheses in a Variety.com article.
Yeah.
And mishmash the words to make it seem like it's something bigger, to, you know, clickbait, pull in the whole Gina Carano nonsense again. But essentially this past week, I think in an interview with Filoni or some people, Bad Batch, I don't know, but it was a very tiny little parenthetical reference to Rangers of the New Republic not being in active development. All right. So that does not mean it's been canceled, that, you know, they fucked it up and they need Gina back. It just means that they announced 10 projects last December. All 10 probably aren't being actively worked on right now.
Yeah. Like that's kind of how I read it as well. You know, is that I think there were a lot of people, like you said, were running with it's canceled, it's not happening.
That's not what not in active development means. I mean, it could definitely lead there, and yeah, I mean, we'd be fools to say maybe it's not actively being developed like concept art now because of the Gina thing, and we all think that she probably was going to be the lead.
Yeah.
But not being in active development doesn't mean they had to cancel it because of all that crap, or, you know, I'm sure the KK pitchforks were out. I mean, I've been kind of off the grid, but I can only assume what the goofball fandom did with this one.
Yeah, you have to figure, like, right now, like, there's a lot of things that aren't in active development that were fucking announced. I mean, right now, Mando Season 3 is probably not in active development because of everything that's coming up before it. Like, Book of Boba Fett is coming up before Mando Season 3.
Yeah, so I think last we heard on Mando, and I don't even know if this is last, but that Favreau Filoni, where they're writing it, thinking about it, but they're probably, I mean, they're shooting Book of Boba right now, so I would argue Mando probably isn't as in active development as Rangers.
Yeah.
But don't take that shit as like, especially the Nudnik sites and these goofball sites, the Zeros, all these false prophets out there, false Ragers. Typically, if that shit starts popping up on those sites, you just don't worry about it.
Yeah,
and read the goddamn source for yourself. It's not that hard.
It's one of these things where, like, there is a way forward for Rangers. Like, did it hit a speed bump? Yeah, of course it did, because there was the assumption, I don't believe it was in the announcement of the show, but it was assumed that Cara Dune was going to play a major role in that series. So now that she's out, then you just need to rework stuff. And like, I'm sure that given the amount of characters that you now have to work with in that timeline, and the open ability to create new characters and everything like that, then you're going to be totally fine with Rangers.
Yeah, if they
choose to move forward with it.
I even saw some people are like, just enough already. Bring in Iden Versio, get Javanka or whatever her name is, and let's do it.
Yeah, get Janina, because Janina is doing the filming for Borderlands movie right now. She's so she's out there with Randy Pitchford, the guy who runs Gearbox, and I know it's being filmed in a different country, but she's doing that. But that would be a perfect character to bring in for this. She falls perfectly into this timeline. We know that she's still around like even into the beginnings of the sequel trilogy. So she is a character that's ripe for the picking, and Janina would be more than happy, I would imagine.
And clearly a main player in the New Republic. I mean,
yeah, she very much so.
She was at the right there. I mean, turned as an Inferno Squadron lieutenant or captain, turned and went to the New Republic. I mean,
yeah.
Right after the fall of the Empire, like Operation Cinder, all that jazz.
Yeah.
So it fits well, but all we're here to say, again, it's like we are the enlightened ones. We can see past the clickbait, or just take the 5 extra seconds to click on the Variety article from whatever goofball clicky title site you were reading, because that's what this showed up in our Discord, and I'm like, let me check it out. And the site that was shared, I think it was like Jedi News, and they're like, blah.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's all over, blah, blah, blah. It's like, what? And you go, if you actually read Variety, like I said, it was in parentheses, currently not in active development.
Yeah. Like when I read it the first time, I didn't even, I read the whole article.
Right.
And it was about, the article was about fucking Filoni's promotion.
Yeah.
And I read it, and I was like, I didn't even see it. I was like, oh, okay, well, I don't see it. Like, what? Yeah, it was such a footnote that it didn't even require an entire sentence.
Nick, like anything on the internet or social media these days, if you can add any bit of, fake controversy or mystery to something, or do a lot of what about this, or what about this, or I think this, even though it's not factual, that's what people want. So, I mean, it's like, all right, you can figure a lot of this stuff out yourself if you just put forth the effort.
Yeah.
All right. I can tell, this definitely is going to be your usual length of show, and my little one is getting a little rowdy here. So
yeah. So let's we got one more topic to cover.
Right. Yeah. And then we do have kind of a half-assed fan segment this week. We're treating it like you all treat the fan question of the week. We're doing it very half-assed. Didn't really put any effort into it. There isn't even a question of the week because only 3 people reply now. So who really cares? And like I said, I'm still on vacation. Don't have all the tools around me, so screw it. But we talked about this earlier, not going to spend a ton of time. But Andor, it's like all they do, Nick, is pick sets in nature that are easily accessible by lots of humans.
They do. It's like they can literally they're like, let's just build shit in the middle of this field where everybody can see it, or let's film on the side of a road where everybody could see it.
Yeah, so I mean, there's stuff out there. I mean, we don't even have it on our site at this point in time. You can go to Bespin Bulletin on Instagram. Guess I'll give them a credit since they pumped us one time.
They gave us one time.
There's one set. I was talking to Nick, and it looks like some sort of landing craft. You could argue that it's early U-wing, the way that the side hatch drops out. They've also, I mean, I guess that there's like a crazy jungle set now. It kind of looks literally like from Jumanji 2, where Robin Williams' character holed up all those years, and they found Nick Jonas or whatever. But
yeah,
it's like, whatever. I mean,
it's a very early like they're clearly still building whatever they're building. I think Matt may have hit it on the head with it being the U-wing, because we know that that's Cassian's ship in Rogue One. But other than that, it's literally like a construction part in the middle of a dam. Like, that's what it is. Like,
I don't know.
You're at the Cruachan Cruachan Dam is where they are right now.
So
in
you
Scotland.
Scottish people, I'm sure you can pronounce it properly.
I will say that like I was never the one that got into the leaks. I know that we only started playing with leaks in terms of the content that they put out when the Tross script, like in totality.
Yeah, I'll never do that again. I'm fine looking at like set pics and shit, but never again am I reading plot synopsises. Fuck that.
Yeah.
So like the worst.
I'm kind of starting to get like a little tired of seeing all these set pics, because even though it's not giving up anything, it's just like, you know, like I want things to be left to the imagination. Like even this here, like if the U-Wing is in it, we could have potentially had a situation to where, you know, Cassian doesn't have his ship yet, and you get to see the reveal, and you go, this is how we get to his ship, and you know, like
the rebels save him or some
yeah,
like he's not officially a rebel yet, and they save him, or this jungle base is and so it starts to get a little bit into a realm where I'm like, man, I kind of want to leave a few things to imagination, because like you said, with Andor, it seems like they're just fuck it, they're like, we're just gonna film anywhere anybody can see everything. Like it doesn't fucking matter. So I feel like at this clip, like, you know, we had some good leaks from a source when they were filming at Cleveland's, and now you're even getting shit from a brand new location. So it seems like the fucking entirety of Andor may leak before anybody even gets to see it. Like at least its locations and what some of the sets will look like. So I mean, if something interesting pops up, I'm sure we're gonna talk about it. If there's stuff to speculate on. But at this point in time, if they're just random set shots, we may just say, hey, random set shots, next topic.
Check it out. Go look at them. But there's not too much. I think you nailed the U-Wing. I think the one close-up shot says MK9 comms bunker. Yeah. So I don't know if that's any sort of like, you know, hint to what the location. It's
the bunker used in Mortal Kombat 9 on one of the levels.
Exactly. That's where you have to unlock.
Yeah, there's. I mean, just like Nick said, at this point, if you want to see stuff for Andor, just go to Reddit or just type in Andor set leaks on Google.
Yeah, and there's 1,000 pictures for you to see.
All right, man. Well, let's kind of move into the fan segment. But before we do that, I'd like to tell you that support for the Star Wars Time Show is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming champions of the world. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped just launched their 4th-generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right, the 4.0. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. That's right, 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code SWTS at manscaped.com. So imagine shaving with a sleek, well-designed, and optimized trimmer that makes shaving time your favorite time in the bathroom. I'm one of the first people, Nick was the first, now I'm the second, to try the new 4.0, and I really am blown away by the performance. The craftsmanship and details on the 4.0 are next level. Nick, I finally got the busted out down here at the beach. Not only did I use it on my armpits, you know, I know the lawnmower is designed for your family jewels, but I was like, hey, I got hair all over my body. Let's see how this ceramic blade works. Nice, clean, smooth shave of the pits, and then sure enough, I took it downstairs and gave those balls a nice trim to make them polished so they do not hold sand in my suit while I'm here at the beach.
Hey, man, that's a perfect time to do it.
Yeah, so I've definitely been digging my Lawnmower 4.0 because Manscaped engineered the ultimate groin and body trimmer by focusing on intelligent functionality and an incredibly comfortable grooming experience. Their 4th-generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. I now feel confident shaving my boys. I definitely do. This upgraded trimmer includes a multi-function on-off switch that can engage a travel lock, which I used, Nick, to bring it to the beach. Nice. It also gives you the ability to turn the 4000K LED spotlight on and off when needed for a more precise shave in those crevices. The Lawnmower 4.0 even allows you to customize your trim through additional guard lengths with sizes 1 through 4. Did I mention wireless charging? The new wireless charging system uses electromagnetic induction, which can help battery length last longer. Men, if you've been shaving with the same nut trimmer on your face, you've been doing it wrong. No person wants to end up with pubes in their mouth, Nick and I included. So, it's time to get your own ball hair and body trimmer with Manscaped to make me time the best time and enhance your confidence with some nice smooth boys. So, get 20% off. That's 20% off plus free shipping worldwide with the code SWTS at manscaped.com. Your balls, myself, and Nick will thank you. So don't forget, get 20% off and free shipping with the code SWTS at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Just use the code SWTS. You will unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.
That's
right. All right. I might need to do some manscaping after that because it seems the sun's coming out. Might have to get out of this condo that I've been in all day.
But
before we
again.
do that, we're going to do a kind of a different type of top 5 because it's not even been posted yet.
It's brand new.
That's right. And I got to do it this time.
Yeah. Matt picked out the top 5.
This kind of makes up for me fucking up the Matt top 1 for like the past 5 times.
Yeah, I know. So this is all individual Matt top 1s that we're going to go through.
Right. And we will have a post out. So if you are listening, you should be able to follow along. Because I know, my buddy Perfected Chaos, he's like, hey man, where's the visuals at? I was like, sorry, we're not doing a live stream for 2 weeks. He's like, you guys are talking about pictures and I can't see shit. And I understand.
I know that was old school. Like that's how we used to do it pre-live stream though. Like all the newer fans, and we love every one of you, but that's why we give
you've been spoiled
good descriptors. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how we perfect our art form of our oratory abilities.
Yeah.
All right, so we will have this out on StarWarsTime.net at some point in time, as well as on Instagram. Nick usually gets it out Monday, which is today, and we're probably going to release the cast, we'll see, maybe Tuesday this week.
Yeah, maybe
but if you're listening to it, it doesn't really fucking matter, because that means it's already out. Right now, Nick and I are just doing a show for 2. But here we go. So, Nick, I went through, I usually line these up. It actually gives me something to do down at the beach this week. I thought it'd be a pain in the ass, but I don't know about you people. I love sitting at the beach all day, but sometimes it gets bored, especially if you don't have games to play or the water is 60 degrees. So I've still been doing my 12 shares. So if you are new to this segment, the fan segment, the iconic SWTS fan segment, which kind of canceled the fan question of the week this week, but we'll get back to it. But anyways, to get involved in the vaunted top 5 Star Wars fan arts features of the week, you need to follow us on Instagram at Star Wars Time Show. And if you do like Star Wars art, or you produce Star Wars art, or just Star Wars anything, tag us in your shots at Star Wars Time Show. And also use the hashtag Star Wars Time Show in anything Star Wars art form related. Tattoos, I say it all the time, but it could be really far out stuff like some sort of defecation sculpture. It doesn't matter. If it has Star Wars to it, we want to check it out, and maybe we'll feature it on our Instagram. And if you're lucky enough, when it's a normal week, Nick will pick his 5 favorite posts from the week that were shared on Instagram to discuss. So I got to do that this week, which is fun because I kind of know what I'm looking at, since I kind of have I'm the gatekeeper, as they call me. But Nick, up first, this is one of our favorite Star Wars artists out there. A guy I think we'd let him tattoo his art on any part of our body, including our faces.
Yes.
And that is none other than Daz Tibbles, with just, as I call it, a gem of a piece featuring Lady Bo-Katan. You got the Night Owl symbol kind of as her backdrop, but she is posed like a badass bitch, just mowing down motherfuckers, both pistols drawn, like pop, 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 pop. It's just such a powerful portrayal of the character. You get that she's a badass female behind this armor, and anything Daz Tibbles puts out is, to me, is always just Star Wars art gold.
Yeah, top notch, really, from everything that he does. And the one comment that we got on this image was, "This is weirdly hot." And yeah, I mean, it is.
I'm with you. Like I didn't want to get too graphic because people already, well, they know I'm the loose cannon, the kind of the guy that's a little off kilter on this show. I mean, we talked about that a few weeks back. The one time we got on Reddit, someone's like, I really want to like the Star Wars Time show if it weren't for the loud ass crazy main dude. That's me. But yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, I kind of want to like have sex with this picture.
It is. It's like like you said, he makes it very clear that this is not, this isn't what's his name, Axe Woves underneath this suit. This is definitely Bo-Katan.
Yeah, she's kind of doing like a powerful catwalk walk, but has her pistols out, guns ablazing. So
exactly, like it's not a typical break out into a run like you would see in a normal battle scene. Like Matt said, it is more of a catwalk style walk that's going on here, and he brings out all of the features of an incredible warrior, but then also make sure that people know who are looking at this that this is an incredible female warrior.
Yes.
So
it reminds me as a heterosexual male of why I appreciate the female form so much.
Yeah, so
I've had a lot of reminders this week being at the beach. And some of them made me feel like a creep, but it's like, Jesus. I know I'm definitely still hetero when I'm at the beach or looking at art like this. But beautiful art of Bo-Katan from @DazTibbles on Instagram. I think he's also @DazTibbles on Twitter. Just a pimp. I mean, I even like, do you notice how like he illustrated it kind of like a comic book, like that dot coloring?
Yeah. It wasn't the typical, like, his style is very noticeable, DazTibbles. Like, you can pick it out. He has like a very unique kind of feel to his
he seems to be able to kind of
to
drift in between art forms or shading styles, illustration styles out. And again, we're idiots. We call people like Daz real ass painters. If that clues you into our intelligence and knowledge on fine art here.
Yeah.
But
apparently this was just a warm-up piece for Daz. That's what he says in his post. He's like, oh yeah, just a warm-up piece for Bo-Katan.
You gotta be kidding me. Like, and I'm not, like, no disrespect to Star Wars comic book artists right now. They're actually getting paid by Marvel, but that to me is a better Star Wars comic book style art cover than I've seen in this past year of buying Star Wars comics again.
Yeah, so
I mean, Daz is just a Mac Daddy. So.
Yeah, it's insane how good he is. But as I've been doing with all the artists out here, Daz does have a store, a shop that you can buy his prints off of if you so choose to. Go to his Instagram. It's not linked, but it's on there. So if you copy the inprint.com URL and paste it into your browser, you can pop it up, and he has a ton of different things on here. He's got canvas prints, he's got framed prints, he's got acrylic prints. So go out there, support these artists with your dollars. So I'll give you the latest update on how my support is going for the community. So I bought a Sir Dork piece that I was really excited for. It was one that I was really excited for. It came in, and this is the unfortunate circumstance that I'm in now, but I will likely just repurchase one from Jared. So if you hear this, Jared, do not send me another one because of this unfortunate happenstance. So it gets delivered, and the delivery person puts it in my backyard. So, like, we have our yard, and it's actually like the way that you would drive up to my house. My garage is on the street, and then the entrance to my backyard is right there too. So usually people will just put it in our backyard. It's fenced in, but it's, there's no cover to it. So the person drops it off, and then later in the day it rains and I'm not home. So, and it's a beautiful piece by Jared.
And let me guess, it probably doesn't rain a lot down there, does it?
I mean, it doesn't. Like, we hadn't had rain in a bit. So, like, we were looking at the forecast, and we're like, okay. You just
suck at getting Star Wars shit delivered to you, period.
I don't understand. So, like, and it comes, like, Jared put it in a like an art tube and stuff like that. So I get home, I'm like, fuck, man. And I go out there, I'm like, maybe it's underneath the table.
It's like paper mache at that point. Like, it's just a mash of pulp.
So it's not like the whole thing is not ruined, only like the and here's the thing is, like, Jared did such a, like, it's signed, And that's like, so the bottom of the picture where he signed it is where it got wet. Like you can still see it, and I'm letting it dry to see if it's even like salvageable, which I think most of it is. But it hurts me that like that piece.
I'm just laughing. Like I
just,
whenever Nick tells these stories, I try to recreate them in my head, and I see him just coming home, just going like, "Don't!" Like Homer, like, "Fuck,
dude,
God
it's just,
damn it again! Another
I was
foiled
hoping,
delivery."
I was like, maybe they put it underneath the table because we have a table out there. I was like, maybe it's underneath the table, maybe it's underneath a chair that's out, but it wasn't. It was just out there in the fucking rain. So I feel really bad about that. So I'm gonna go and get another piece from Jared, and hopefully this time it's not fucking rained on because the delivery person left it out in our backyard in the rain. So that's unfortunate.
Well, this next artist we're about to honor again, as we've done multiple times on the show, and I'm talking about at Super Scoundrel. Have you gotten your buy from him yet?
I do. So I have my shirt from Super Scoundrel. It has arrived. So the next time we are on a live stream where I am present, I will be sporting the Super Scoundrel.
Yeah,
shirt.
but we're checking out one of his latest creations, and it's a nod. It's timely. You know, he's a timely type of artist, unlike how I used to be with my toy photography, and I'd get a toy and let it sit for a year before I took a picture. Super Scoundrel, he gets right on it. So at super_scoundrel just dropped an Echo piece, and he's a vector artist, and it is just so slick looking. I think it reminds me of why we just talked about it. I'm really loving Echo in this form. I love the way he looks. I love his helmet and how it fits on his Lobot thing. I loved we were talking about his robot makeup, like that helmet attachment. I mean, shit, I don't think I've pre-ordered the Echo Hot Toys yet, but I'm hoping they make the protocol droid Echo just based on that. But back to at Super Scoundrel's art here. I don't know, man. It's like I want to lick it. Like I want to lick my screen right now. That's the best way I can describe the excellence of this shot. It's just it's beautiful but chaotic. The colors are perfect. The rendering of Echo is perfect. That flare in his visor. I don't know. I mean, it's at super_scoundrel. I mean, that's just what we've come to expect.
Yeah, no, it's again like he takes vector art to a place that I was unaware it could even go. Like
I mean, it doesn't even look vector, because one of my other favorite vector artists is a guy named at Mexifunk. He actually hit us up, and I shared he did a time lapse stormtrooper helmet piece.
Okay, yeah.
But his, to me, is what I would consider more traditional vector art, where you kind of have those sharp lines and angles at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the subject itself still looks pretty fleshed out, but you can almost see, for the lack of a better descriptive word, the vectors that are created, and then they get painted in. But on Super Scoundrel, it's like the dude's digitally painting, like just it's like he has a special brush called Awesome Star Wars Art, and when he selects it, he just drags it down a white canvas, and it makes something like this Echo piece.
Yeah. I mean, it's next level, and then obviously Devin goes above and beyond just the initial drawing. He adds in cool background atmosphere. He adds in cool post effects like this bokeh that you got going across the subject. So he doesn't just stop at the piece itself. He adds in extra elements to really amplify.
Yeah, his work's definitely getting a little more dynamic in terms of the shit going on.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, when he started, he was more subject focused, but now, like Nick said, adding in the flares, the atmosphere, the particle effects. We love him. He has a wrench when we're on the live stream, so hopefully he listens to the audio only. I guess we should test him out.
Yeah,
if you listen to the audio only, Devin, the code word is Yavin4.
Oh.
Yavin4. We'll test them to see. Or Justin, is Justin listening? The code word is Yavin4. So we have games with our fans to test their loyalty, especially these two.
I know,
it's like a new thing, right? We were talking about when SW Props is on. They think it's funny when we talk shit about their fandom when they're not in a live stream. So we're testing them again. We'll see if they got the code word of Yavin4. Either
do it.
DM us or tag us in a story if you listen. All right.
If you got it.
So, but anyways, we're just fucking with him. Make sure to follow at super_scoundrel on Instagram. Just a pimp.
Definitely.
And another pimp. And this guy, Nick, I don't know if you saw this shot, but this guy, the Coral Pulse, so TheCorrellPulse. I know we featured his work before, but to me, and being someone that used to be in the toy photography and did it a lot, I mean, I haven't done shit in weeks, haven't posted in feels like a month. But I feel like Coral Pulse has like hit a new level of excellence. And the shot we're looking at here, it's kind of it's like a close up, right, Nick? But it's a shot of Vader is in the back, but he's the main focus, and in front of him you see a decapitated Boba Fett, a freshly decapitated Boba Fett, and I love everything about this shot, and I think it was actually kind of an end to a series of shots that the Coral Pulse has done. They seem to be doing more action centric, like straight up there. He's got some awesome Bo-Katan, like doing a spin kick shots.
Yeah.
But it just has an awesome action feel to it. Plus it's Boba getting whacked, like Bozo Fett getting whacked, and then it's my man doing it. So that's why I love this one.
Yeah, no, the Coral Pulse definitely has become one of my favorites over time, and I think this was one that you initially introduced to me through one of the first top ones that you ever had during the fan segment. And then I've just been, catching his work on the feed and seeing him week over week with your shares, and really he has become like one of my favorites.
Yeah, it just seems like probably, maybe learn more of the digital side and how to composite and do more Photoshop stuff. But I mean, this is just a dynamic ass shot. I mean, the shot itself is great. It's nice and clean. It's crisp. The focus is strong on Vader, but I love how the camera's angled to start. Like, I mean, that thing's on a hardcore tilt. I mean, just look at the background. I mean, the walls are going diagonal.
Yeah.
But then to get that, just the head pop and a great lightsaber effect, probably an even better decapitated lightsaber head slash. I mean, that's what Django should have looked like when Mace took him out, just like that. So remember, if you're just listening to audio, make sure to pull up this post in particular during this segment so you can see the shots. But at the Coral Pulse is definitely a badass follow.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially these days. Has always been one of my favorites, but these days just next level type of work. All right. So my next pick is someone we've talked about plenty of times before in the top 5. One of my personal favorite artists, and that is at visual_approach_photography. And the shot we're looking at here, my friend, is of the new Asajj Ventress Black Series figure, who has just separated a clone trooper from his legs.
Yeah.
Basically, his whole lower torso is now not connected to his upper torso.
Yeah. She gave him the Darth Maul treatment.
Yeah.
Like, here you go, bud.
But so hardcore that the top half of the trooper basically popped up over her head and is flying away as the lower half of the trooper is falling to the ground. But I mean, just I love how Visual Approach sets these up. I mean, always gets great action oriented poses. But then with the effects like that, like look at the inside of the clone is really just a perfectly cauterized clone stump.
Yeah, exactly. Like the detail that he put into just that just gives you an idea of the work that Visual Approach puts into his photography, because you could totally just ignore that, almost like do very little to it to make it say, oh yeah, like you got cut in half, whatever. Like he went in and he put like very
it's glowing,
like, detailed description, like detailed work into like even like the edge. You can see where like the plastic was cut, and then
it's a different color than the meat. It's literally,
and then the spine is different than the fucking rest of it. Like the
beautiful.
Detail.
It's awesome. Yeah. I mean, even Asajj herself. I mean, it looks like he might have tweaked her eyes a bit, made them a little whiter. But she just has this very complacent look, like another day at the office, slicing clones in half.
Yeah.
So I absolutely this is just a great shot, a very Visual Approach photography type of shot indeed.
Yeah, beautiful work. I mean, visual approach is always putting out quality work, and it across multiple different types of focuses as well. I mean, you can see on his page he's got Spawn, he's got Star Wars, he's got Mortal Kombat, he's got Marvel, he's got DC. So I mean, this guy does not have like a particular focus in terms of his content, you would say, but no matter what he does it incredibly well. So
yeah, excellent stuff. Make sure to give him a follow if you're not already doing it, and if you're not, go ahead and punch yourself, just for good measure. All right, and the final one of my little special Matt Top 5 excursion here is from at Marky Mark 029. So at MarkieMarc029. Sign me up for a spelling bee.
There you go.
But the shot we're looking at here, Nick, it's kind of you could call it a recreation shot from episode 6, season 2 of The Mandalorian, when Neo Boba makes his glorious debut. So we know we're looking at a custom figure, so that is the first very impressive thing we see of this shot. But I love the brutalness of this shot. I mean, it literally, we're looking at Neo Boba with his foot on a trooper's throat as the trooper's trying to push his leg away, and Boba just with his blaster almost, what do you say, like 5 inches from his face is blowing his head to bits. So.
Yeah, just literally blaster almost directly to the face.
I think this is one of the better looking Neo Boba's 112 scale figure I've seen. Perfect acid wash. You got the ammo belt there. Looks like he's using the nihilist lower half, so you see Boba's skirt still.
Yeah.
It's just a great custom figure, but it's also posed as a Neo Boba Fett figure should be posed.
Exactly. I mean, it's almost perfect, like you said, in terms of just
I can hear the music. Like, I can hear Boba's new music. You know what I mean? It's like that kind of, it's got a little tribal stuff infused in there now, probably for Tamura, which I love.
Yeah.
But I as soon as I look at the shot, I hear that music and the guitars jamming when he comes in, right? We're watching Mando and Fennec. Oh no, they're cornered, and Din's doing his thing where he's just eating bullets, Nick's favorite deal. Dumpster Din, or whatever you call him.
Oh, man.
But, and then you hear that music kick in, and you see some detonators drop, and then he just comes down and raises hell. And that's exactly what I hear and see when I look at this shot from at MarkyMarc029. So
yeah, he's got a great series. Yeah, he's got like a few great shots of Neo Boba.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
on the page.
I featured every one. This one just happened to make the
top 5. Top 5. It's a great one out there. And again, Marky Mark, for those of you interested, does have a shop as well. You can buy prints on there if you so choose. He looks like he's got 22 different prints. Or he also is selling custom work as well. Yeah, like he has custom head sculpts for Neo Boba.
There you go.
He has custom stormtrooper skulls. So like he's got the helmet and a crack in it, and there's a skull behind it. So he's not only selling you like prints that he has, but he also has custom work on there as well for figure either collectors or photographers. So check it out. So yeah, very good stuff from at MarkyMarc029. And Matt, I mean, this may be the shortest show that we've done in 2-3 years, perhaps.
Easy, yeah. I mean, at least 2 for sure. I mean, since 2020 with the lockdown and doing the live streams, that's when we were just doing the 3-4 hours. So it's been nice to get down to an hour 23. Like I said, I'm out at the shore. Weather was a little poopy, so Nick was kind enough to just kind of dip in here and do kind of a guerrilla style recording of the Star Wars Time Show. We should be back live stream on YouTube, so youtube.com, look for Star Wars Time Show. But by the June 1st show, should be live again, doing it as we usually do. Might not have Nick.
I think I'm going to be out for that because I will be with the fam in Louisiana. So you'll get the bros back on the 8th. That will be the next Duo Go show. And I actually think we have an interview with an actual Star Wars concept artist set for the 8th. So hopefully that one pans out, because that would be a fun show to come back to. I mean, I believe it's someone that's worked on the movies. Legit stuff. So
hey, it's been real. Hopefully, these 2 audio-only casts weren't enough to turn you off. Think of it as this is old school SWTS. Those of you that only came around when we started doing the live streams or when we switched over to StarWarsTime.net, this is how we used to do it. We just, figure out a time of day, link up offline, talk our Star Wars shit, splice it up, release it to the podcast platform. So, hey, sometimes you got to do what you got to do when the bros got to take a break. It's been nice. I needed it. Got a few more days here at the shore, then I'm headed back to real life. So we're going to go ahead and put this show to bed. Nice little, an hour and a half it's probably going to end up being.
Hour and a half show, yeah.
So not too bad. I mean, sometimes you people bitch when we go for long. You come back to the live stream. You guys are still talking? Well, now we're going to stop talking. But don't forget, StarWarsTime.net. That's where you can find all of our content that we talk about on the show. In particular, these audio-only shows where you don't have any visuals through the live stream. So if you do get to the fan segment, doing the top 5, you may want to pull up the post on StarWarsTime.net. But more importantly, over there on that website, you can subscribe to the Star Wars Time Show. That's right. We need you. We need those subs. We need the subs on YouTube. We need the likes on YouTube, the comments, but we also need the ratings and reviews on your traditional podcast platform. So keep it up. I've seen a little bit of an uptick in the downloads, which is pleasurable. It makes me happy. It gives me THO, right? I am the Tinker Bell of Star Wars. I need clapping and I need to feel special to keep going. And we will. We'll be back next week breaking down the next episode of The Bad Batch and whatever random Star Wars-ness pops up. Remember, there's always time for Star Wars time. Keep going around, tell it to people. I've been wearing my hat out here at the beach, and if someone asks, I say, there's always time for Star Wars time. And besides, if you listen to the Star Wars Time Show, the Force will be with you and Siri always.